Never ask me questions when I'm installing double swing hinges. I'm Beth Miller. I'm the technical director. Just means that I make the sets happen.
If you're having a stressful day at work, what beverage would make you happy? That's not alcohol. I mean, obviously beer for me, but
It's like non-alcoholic. It's a dark chocolate mocha.
for someone who doesn't know what a TD is, like what does your job entail other than like making magic happen?
We're often like the practical aspect of design. So we're kind of that filter of reality. Designers get to do all the really cool, pretty pictures and like the ideas. And then they come to us and we go, okay, let's put a reality filter on. What's possible? What can we do? What do we have? I have this thing instead of this thing. That doesn't fit there. How about a spiral staircase? We're very much the practical application of the design. I think it's like getting those really weird problems where you're like, I need 20 crackers to drop at different intervals throughout this whole show, and how do I make that mechanism work? And you do it, and you're like, that was stupid, but cool. And like, I am smart. Weirdly specific things that have happened in theater.
What started you in theater?
I mean, theater was kind of, I don't know what to do in college, and all my friends are in theater, and I know how to use power tools, so why not? And then I discovered that I loved it, and I was like, oh, this is a thing I could do for a living. That's cool. And then it was a bit of a weird, long, winding path through Habitat to get here as a TD.
Where did you go to school?
I went to community college at CWC, and then I went to the University of Wyoming for my bachelor's. Like me in my career, like especially starting out, I've had mostly female technical directors. So I didn't realize it was weird, I guess, or like there were less of us until I kind of started doing it professionally. I was like, oh, okay. I've just been lucky, I guess.
And you're wonderful at your job, so that too.
It helps.
So how did you get started at Lyric? Was it a one-time thing and then you really liked it and you came back? Or how did that all end up with you as TD?
Kind of a funny story. Brian Probal designed at a different theater that I was TDing at. And then their TD moved on and he was looking for a 2D, and he was in a car with me picking up a prop from an alleyway, because that's how we be. Grabbing some furniture that's left in the alleyway that we needed as a donut shop. And he's like, hey, you want a job? I got health insurance. He had me at health insurance.
We have 2 TDs, so how does that work?
Our plan is to be a trade-off. So there's one person in charge of every other show. So you're like leading a show while the other person is kind of helping the design process along for the next 2 shows. And then you trade off. Because there's this moment where we go from this show being an idea to building it. And that takes up a lot of your brain space. So having a second person that can be like, all right, there's 2 more shows coming up, still in idea phase. You wrangle those children and I'll build this set. And so we're very equal and trade off who's in charge when, so everybody gets a break. It's a fast-paced job and it's a lot of hours. And so having that extra support is really nice.
What is your favorite show that you've done at Lyric Arts, or a favorite set that you built, or like the most rewarding thing?
Everything I'm most proud of is also the most frustrating thing to build. Like, if I am so mad at the set by the end, I'll come back a week later and be like, that's a great set. There was a forced perspective railing in If Then that looks great. So mad at it the whole time. Maybe you can't take it with you. I thought that was a really cool set. I think that turned out, we had a lot of fun with the pictures and the 20 million miles of trim that I put on that thing. It was a cool set.
What has life looked since the pandemic? Theater-wise, obviously, but also like for you, what have you been up to? Are you baking a lot? Are you binge watching TV shows? What shows? What are you doing?
It's been a lot of like friends asking if I can fix things. Like I've done a lot of handiwork. I moved in the middle of all of this. You understand that. Working on making good sourdough bread. And that has been more time than I thought it would be, but I will defeat the sourdough bread.
You will direct it into submission.
I will.
Theater people, we're working all day, all week.
We'll work. And then we have a brief moment where we can stop and then we just sleep.
Yes. No one has time to do anything else.
It's been weird. I'm like, what are hobbies? I guess I should get some. It's just been finding ways to fill the time. The dream is that it all just goes back to normal and, Corona magically goes away. But we all know that that's not a realistic thing. So I'm just hoping that we can find a way to make theater work in social distancing time. It's a bit of a brain twister, you know? We're an industry based around getting people together in a time where you can't get people together. You know, we'll figure it out, hopefully.
How would you describe, like to someone like me, how would you describe the community of people that make up Lyric Arts?
There's a lot of friends there. Like it's a lot of camaraderie. We all get along really well. We all talk to each other like we're friends. We often hang out outside of work. It's a lot like going to work with your friends, which is what I love about theater, is oftentimes you're just like going to work with your friends. During Tech Week, sometimes we'll just walk past each other and just yell, "You know why?" It's like, you know why? And you just walk past and it's just like a signal of like, it's been a day and you know. I love watching all of the designers interact and like all the weird personalities that I just love come together and make each other uncomfortable sometimes.
What is next for you? What are you working on? Are you working on something?
I'm hoping for theater to be my next. I'm hoping that it comes back and theater is the answer, because I don't know what I'd do if I wasn't doing theater. I've never thought about it. I've had a non-theater job once and it was still building things, so I suppose I could go to that. But yeah, I don't know. Theater is just kind of always what I've done.
We're not going anywhere.
But like, we're not going anywhere. I think we're doing a lot to make sure we don't go anywhere.